The last time we refreshed this model with a complete refresh was 2007. A vehicle of this size in the sport ute category gives you the flexibility of having up to 9 passengers in the vehicle. You have lots of cargo capacity, so if you want a larger vehicle, this is a great vehicle, and it's very flexible. And you can switch from payload to cargo carrying capacity as well as towing. So that in that particular segment of large full-size utilities, this is the best vehicle you can buy.
This is the all-new 2015 Cadillac Escalade. The one we have here is the long wheelbase, and they do have the shorter wheelbase. About 70% of the people take the shorter wheelbase. This is perfect for a big family or maybe a limousine company picking up people at the airport. Now, you have to hand it to General Motors. They did a very nice job in the styling of this new Cadillac. Now, the Cadillac Escalade basically hadn't been redone since 2007, so this really is a big deal. And they've done a great job with all of their full-size SUVs, whether it's the Tahoe, the Silverado, the Denali, you name it. They look fantastic, and they have a lot of new technology embedded. Around the back, you'll notice the power liftgate, and when you open that up, the seats in the back on the Escalade can fold and flip automatically with just the flip of a button. That's very handy for getting kids and people and cargo in and out of your new Escalade. The stance on the outside is fantastic, comes standard with 20-inch wheels, but can go up to 22 inches if you get their premium trim. One thing about this truck, they have dropped the price in Canada by about $6,000 and added additional features, which makes it about a $10,000 benefit over the previous model. Well, the front end of the Escalade certainly is prominent, and a big part of that is the lighting system. Now, a lot of car companies, you might remember way back, we first got LED marker lights from Audi, and everybody seems to copy that going in a horizontal approach. Cadillac, it's all vertical, and it looks smart, whether it's the ATS, the CTS, or this Escalade. All these LED bulbs spray out a beam for you. There's also lights here on the side that turn on when you put your indicator on or go around a corner. It really does look smart, it looks bold, it looks upscale, and on this vehicle it works.
I would think if you want to stratify Escalade from the other utilities we have in the marketplace, it's like any other consumer product. If you think of barbecues or refrigerators, you can buy a cheap barbecue or you can buy the very best barbecue out there. So if you're thinking of the additional creature comforts within the vehicle, with the Escalade, you've got the Cadillac Q user experience. In addition to Q, we also have an exclusive Bose stereo system on this vehicle. It's 16 speakers with CenterPoint technology, so each of the passengers gets full rich sound in their seating positions. Heated, cooled seats, everything is very adjustable as far as driver control. You've got selectable auto track, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. A very nice slate of features for the Escalade buyer.
Now, the reason a family would want a vehicle like this is because of all the space. Cadillac has done a much better job of making it easier to get into the vehicle, automatic running boards, the tumbling seats, and lots of room for passengers. And when you get the long wheelbase version that we have here, you get a lot of cargo, even with all of the seats up. Up front, it is an all-new Escalade, and they've done a fabulous job of improving the materials. You see leather here, you see open pore wood, you see vinyl. But what I really like is the attention to detail. Like the front of the glove box here has got vinyl covering it. The bottoms of the doors have a material that doesn't scratch. So you want a vehicle to look nice when it's new, but you also want it to hold up over the years. And these little touches really do help. You've got the Cadillac Q system front and center. That's their infotainment system that has the ability to read text to you. And it's also touch sensitive. You've got the HVAC and the radio system here. In behind the steering wheel, you've got a massive screen that gives you all of your instrumentation, and it's projected onto the screen. There are no conventional dials there. It really does make this vehicle look upscale. Lots of storage as well. You've got cup holders, you've got areas, USB ports everywhere. There's 5 of them, and a massive container here under the armrest. So space definitely is not an issue inside this new Escalade.
A large displacement engine like a 6.2 actually fits well with this vehicle. Yeah, it's a heavy vehicle with a lot of capability, a lot of payload and towing capability. But when you don't need all that capability, we have a direct injection, variable valve timing, and most importantly, active fuel management. So active fuel management allows a 6.2 liter engine to become a 3.1 liter gasoline engine. And in most driving experiences on the highway or around town, you'll find that it's in 4-cylinder mode. And that allows us to achieve segment-leading V8 fuel economy, even in a large vehicle like this.
Now, the Escalade is a big truck, and it needs a big engine. and they have put underneath the hood their premium V8 gasoline engine, a 6.2 liter V8 with 420 horsepower and 460 foot-pounds of torque. So what does that mean at the pumps? Well, this Escalade, even though it's very big and very powerful, is capable of 16.2 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and only 11.4 on the highway. And we've been driving around rural Ontario here, and we're getting 12 liters per 100 kilometers. So it's actually capable of getting those kinds of numbers. But it's not just all about power, it's also about comfort. Now, speaking of ride, you know the Corvette, it's got that magnetic ride control? Well, they've taken that and they put it in the Escalade. What it's capable of doing is sensing the road surface up to 1,000 times a second and modifying the suspension up to 100 times a second. And what it's able to achieve in a big vehicle like this is any bumps and undulations helps smooth them out. And it also makes the car handle much better when you throw it into the corners. You do have settings though. At a push of a button, you can go from touring to sport, but the overall tuning of this Escalade is actually really quite sporty, not the floaty boaty Cadillac of yesteryear. Well, the Cadillac Escalade certainly isn't for everybody, but it is a very nice vehicle if you have a large family, you tow a trailer, boat, something like that, and you need to have the utility that this vehicle offers. But then again, there's going to be a whole lot of people that just like the badge on the front, what Cadillac represents, and the fashion-forward styling. It really is a nice-looking full-size SUV. As I mentioned, a lot of people will get the shorter wheelbase one. That's probably a more practical vehicle for around town. It really says something about the Cadillac image, though, that big and bold is still an American trait that people gravitate towards. I think the most impressive thing, though, is what's under the hood here. 6.2 liter V8 would really scare most people away, but what they've been able to do with direct injection and also the cylinder management, shutting off half of the cylinders under light load, really does impact fuel economy. You can get relatively good fuel economy out of a big truck like this. So you can have the style, you can have the functionality, and you can also save a little bit at the pumps.
Remember, extended reviews of many of our segments are available online at drivingtelevision.com.